The immigration reform bill is headed to the Senate floor, but one major sticking point surfaced on Tuesday night, an amendment that would have given gay and lesbian couples equal treatment under immigration law. Joining us to discuss, we have Elise Foley, HuffPost politics reporter. Elise, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
It's always nice having you. Republicans like Senator Lindsey Graham insisted, though, that the amendment would kill immigration reform, and Democrats said they felt like their hands were tied. What was the response, not only from the senators, but from the LGBT community?
Well, the LGBT community is pretty furious. I've spoken to some people today. They say they're going to continue to support the bill. They're going to continue to push for it, but they're very angry that they were left out. It's not entirely, it wasn't entirely unexpected, so I think they had some time to prepare, but they're angry anyway. And the Democrats seem to be, you never know with politicians, of course, but they seem to be pretty genuinely pained to have to be going against something that most of them have supported for a while. So it was sort of an interesting scene last night. There were some pretty unhappy people.
Well, do Republicans feel the same way, that they almost had to vote on this bill that they weren't 110% on board with?
Yeah, exactly. So basically, Republicans were saying, you got us to compromise on a bunch of things. This is one thing that we're not going to compromise on. You have to compromise. And so that's why the Gang of Eight members, who drafted the bill, they felt that they had to oppose this amendment because they wanted to keep Lindsey Graham, for instance, on board. Graham was saying last night that he said, you got me on immigration, you don't have me on marriage. I'm not going to support this bill if this gets in. And so that puts them in a really bad position. If you want to keep the bill, if you want to help 11 million undocumented people, you can't exactly go back, according to Republicans anyway, decide to give this amendment that would help same-sex couples.
And what does this mean for same-sex couples?
Well, so it potentially could be less of a problem than it is now based on DOMA. So if the Supreme Court overturns DOMA, if DOMA no longer existed, then immigration law would recognize the same-sex couples in the same way that it would heterosexual couples. And so that would basically mean that they could petition for legal status so long as they were legally married. That would mean, some people would have to travel out of state to get married in a state that does have legal marriage, but it would mean that they could, you could conceivably get a green card as long as you could do that. So if DOMA is overturned, then it's less of a problem. But for now, it means that people will continue to not be able to petition for spousal green cards for their spouses. And a lot of them might have to, leave the country or be separated many months per year, or even have people overstay and get deported. So it's a pretty bad situation right now.